Okay, so the list of what we want to do in this part. So declare the start, remaining duration, finish, and link the document. So to declare when a task starts, we are in the planning, and we can sometimes tasks are running exactly as expected. So we don't need to say if it must start at the 3rd of March. It's not necessary to tell, okay, it started the 3rd of March. Maybe we have a way to declare it directly. And it's possible to do with some buttons which are in the ribbon. We can select the task and click on, for example, 25% complete, and automatically project will say, oh, you plan to make it on the 3rd of March. The actual start is the 3rd of March. Okay, perfect. And in that case, no more work is requested to declare things in your planning. After, sometimes things are going a little bit more complex in a more complex way than this, and you have to tell to project that maybe the actual start. Normally it was the 8th of July, but maybe it started the 1st of August. And then here, by clicking on the Update Task button in the specific ribbon, you can define here the start date to the actual date of when the task started really. You define the date and you click on OK. And after that, project will update the planning according to this information. We planned on the 8th. You started really on the 15th or the 1st of July, so maybe 3 weeks later. So project will move the task in the future. So you will have a gap here because it's a change. We cannot keep all the tasks finish and then task start for the successors of the task if we started to work on the task later than expected. Okay, so just by defining here the actual start, everything will be calculated automatically by project according to the information that you defined on all of the tasks. So we will do it after in demonstration. When you made this after maybe you started on the 1st of August, project will calculate that we have still 10 days of work to do, but your experience and the feedback that you get from the field tells you that in fact the remaining duration is 20 days and not 10. Then you can put this information here on the same, so it's the same thing. It's a task update task button where you have this information here to be updated. You select the correct remaining duration to tell the project, okay, please reschedule everything according to this information. Okay, so it's very simple, in fact, you define the start, you define the remaining duration, and project calculates the rest. And it will be the same for when you have to declare when task will finish. If everything runs as expected, you can click on 100% to directly declare that it's finished. Sorry, bad manipulation. 100%, so it will finish the task directly. But we have also the possibility that you declare the end of the task exactly when what it happened. And you define the actual finish at this step, and again the actual duration, the actual finish date will be defined, and your project will be rescheduled correctly. Just change something here. Okay. So we'll make it concretely in exercise. So maybe, yeah, some question.
You could adjust the start date and the remaining duration, and it would auto-calculate the percentage, or did I pick that up wrong?
Yes, everything is completely linked. So maybe if you want to maybe define the actual start and after put a percentage complete to 40%, for example, the actual duration will be calculated, the remaining duration will be calculated. The actual finish will not be the actual finish will not be calculated, because if the actual finish date is defined, it means that the task is finished. But your planned finish date will be recalculated. Okay, so remaining duration will help project to calculate the forecast of the task, of the finish of the task. Declaring here the finish, actual finish means really that the task is finished. You cannot, so only if you have 100%.
So it auto calculates the remaining duration based on actual duration and percentage complete.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really all the fields are linked together, and if you change something, project will calculate the other information according to some basic rules, and we understand that the global duration is the actual duration plus the remaining duration. After, if you know the actual duration and you know the remaining duration, you are able to calculate the complete duration. And because you define the actual start, you add the complete duration to calculate the finish date. So it's really just a plus and minus to do. It's really simple calculation, but for all the tasks, so it helps us really to define, in fact, the duration of the task, the phase, and the project itself. So I propose to switch to demonstration for that. It will be easier to do. First, I don't know if you have still your old project, your simple project available. To start with a very simple project first, I will do it because it will be easier to just checking for my project. Project 2. I had a simple project, but I don't see it. Project. Okay. Okay. So it was my previous project because I think it's easier to explain on a very small project how things happen instead of project with a lot of tasks. After we will apply this to the more complete project. So let's do things with this one. So I will remove a little bit. I will change a little bit the project start to have something more realistic. So on my project here, I don't see a column that we will discuss after, but it's a status indicator, which is very helpful for management, but for the moment we didn't use it. So what I want to do, I will change a little bit some duration. Okay.
Sylvain, can I just jump in there quickly? Just as a visual that I find helps is if you look on the Gantt chart, there's a green line going down through the Gantt. That tells you the current date. So the date that you've got this project open on, today's date. So often you can see then that everything behind that line is in the past and everything in front of that is in the future. Whether it's actually like that is a different story, which is what Sylvain's going to show now. But it's just good to see, which tasks you need to attend to update that show themselves as being in the past. So just as a visual, I tend to find that much easier when you're glancing over the project quickly to orientate yourself where you are with past tasks and future tasks.
Yes, absolutely. Just change it to be the color, it will be easier to follow. And you see, according to that we have some alerts here. Task indicator say that we have behind schedule, and you see that it's task where we have some the work here. The task did not start, so of course it should be finished, and it's not. So it's a task. It's a late task. So now we will help a little bit project to see if we will update the project to see that.
You got a pop-up window there a second ago to say new project, which is just giving you the start date. How did you get that to appear?
To have this gun here?
No, you had a pop-up window that said move task, and it wasn't the full-blown, all the detail of the information. It was just the core date change.
So the move was
okay. Within project.
On the project, yes.
Okay.
So just to have something where we will have some past, some future, and it's good to have this green bar at the middle of the project. So I didn't save a baseline for that, so I set a baseline because it's interesting to. So I already had one, but I can update the baseline because it's. Okay, you see that everything is aligned with the baseline, so everything is fine. Now we will say that the first task, in fact, it started exactly how it was expected. So imagine that we have a possibility here to say directly, okay, the task is complete. And you see that, okay, we have some check, the task is checked here. We can see it also in the timeline that the color is changed. We have also the check here to say that, okay, it's finished. Colors of the global bar is also changing here to say, okay, something happens in your project. If you look at the update task after I click, so you see that 100% complete, duration is 8, actual start, actual finish, and that the current is completely aligned with the actual value. Okay, so it is in the case where directly the task is directly finished, and maybe if you make a weekly review of your project and you have the information telling to you that the tasks are finished, you can really do like this. Okay, the tasks are finished, and just one click and everything is updated. So no more work to do for that. Now, for the second one, we will go more into the details and say maybe the task, normally we should start at the 9, but for the moment the task still not started, so we will say to project, okay, we will start on Monday. Okay. Oh, we have an impact because of our constraint on the task. So we have a problem. We see that the deadline cannot be is not aligned here. So the problem starts in the same time as a planning, as a task, and so we see that the task moved a little bit, and if we display here the baseline in comparison, you see that normally it should be the gray one, but because of the start, the delayed start, everything is moved to the past. Okay, it's not a good situation, but okay, it's a real life, so we have maybe to adapt a little bit things and say, okay, customer, we are late and we have to change our deadline and our constraint, because the real life, it's a real life. It's not because the plan was like this that things automatically runs like we expect. So if it is one possibility, but of course, in some other cases, it's not what we have to do. Maybe you should reduce the duration of the task 3 to continue to be aligned with your initial constraint if you cannot change the constraint. Really, we have all the possibilities, and project will not solve the problem for you. Project will help you to identify that we have a problem, but it cannot reduce the duration of the task if you tell to project that the task should have a 10-day duration. Okay, you told to project that it's the duration. It's not a project who invent the data. So okay, we make a change on the planning. Maybe this change can be validated by a committee, a change committee, or an instance that is that manages the governance of your project. So we can update the baseline or not. I will do for clarification of the planning. So I update, but of course, the update cannot be done like this. Okay, we change. Okay, so it's an official thing. You have some committee, CP1, 2, etc. So you have, of course, to follow the process. But okay, now we recovered more or less on your situation. But things continues to be complex on this task because we started later, but people also say, and you know that currently the current duration we didn't start. No. The actual duration is still 0, but we know that it will take maybe 10 days. So remaining duration will be 10 days because we made a mistake when we define the duration of this task, and so we increase the duration, the forecasted duration of the task. So in our case, we are still okay with constraint. Is it true? Yes, it seems true. Okay. So okay. So we continue to drift. Now we can say that okay. Now we are maybe 2 weeks later, and we can say that maybe we worked 40% on the task. So by this, or you can click on this. Okay. So now we have an actual duration, which is calculated based on the duration. And so the remaining duration is now 5. Actual start did not change. And finally, yeah, the question? So finally, we can define a finish date. So normally it will be end of December, but maybe we can put this value here, and then the task will be declared as finished. Okay, so here we made all the steps as expected. Later start, longer duration, and finally an actual finish which was worse than expected, but always compliant with our constraint, which was redefined we said beginning of February, so we have still some margin. But the task number 3 is still not finished. So now to see what happens on it. But maybe some good news can also happen because on this one maybe we have only 2 days of work, and then we see that okay, about the baseline it's okay, and maybe now okay, it can declare as finish and everything is okay. So if we are late on some task, but we can have a kind of transfer of the margin to the other task, it can also happen. So that's why it's maybe a good practice to use both deadlines and constraint, with a very hard constraint on the milestones and a kind of warning or early alert on some task. And with both information, I think it's possible to keep all the tasks under control. And but everything what we did here, we can make it only because we don't change directly task start and finish from there. Okay, by using the update here, we control everything, and you see that on this screen here, we are not allowed to modify directly the start and the finish. You understand here that it's really the result of calculation based on the actual start, the duration, and etc. So on this screen, it's really visible that how project expect us to work on the task. Is it clear? Do you have some question about this part? Do you think it can make it in your project update processes in the real life? Because here we are in training, etc. with simple project. But what are your views about? Okay, in your actual project, how can you see it?
Everyone feeling a little overwhelmed with this? Or are we at least see a light moving forward? To be honest, this is for those who aren't that familiar with schedule management. It may seem like a lot now. First 1 or 2 times you've done it, it comes naturally and very quickly. So I would urge you not to feel overwhelmed and a little disheartened. It's actually a very simple procedure. It's just 1 or 2 occasions to use it and you'll be fine. Also, just as a practical note, this is the training, but we won't leave you out to pasture like straight away. We'll do first creations, first schedule updates. I'm going to be there ready to help. We can do it together. So this is just giving you the basics of how to do it. And if there's any concerns, we're there to assist as well. So just a little bit of reassurance on that.
Okay, so a point that we didn't discuss for now about achievement, because the main task, we just have to declare that the task is finished with the actual start. But on some specific task, we have to tell to project to prove, in fact, that the task has really been done. For example, for all the pillars, it's not just a question of declaration of 100% on this task, but what is requested for this particular task is that we link a document to a task, and we can use a specific custom field, so an hypertext field, a link to the task, where you are invited to copy, in fact, the address of the Nuxeo document related to these different pillars. Okay, so just by putting here this copy-paste a value in the Nuxeo link column of the task on this specific task, the different development pillars, it will be automatically detected by MS Project. You see that we have here an icon with an hypertext drawn. And after, in terms of database management, etc., the different information that are defined here will be directly integrated in the PPM application. We created four specific fields, which are some links. If you define here a value on this document for this task, the link to the document will be displayed here. Okay, so we're on the grid, tariff, permitting, and land. And with that, for people, it would be easy to say, okay, I finished the grid. We are in the Dev 2 project status, and I can prove it by simply showing you that we have the document here. Sorry, the document is there, etc. And maybe when you click on it, you will be forwarded to, you will be, and you will navigate to the Nuxeo document management system on the correct area where the documents are located. So we will not include directly the document inside, because project is not a document management system, but a link where all the documents related to a specific pillar is defined. Okay, so if we make it as a demonstration, so we can use the actual project, you see that we have here, you should see a Nuxeo link here, and here if you try to copy something, put something like this, okay, directly this address here will be copied in the database, linked to the PPM, and in terms of reporting, we will really take this information in account to make the information available for people who want to audit and to have a global view on the project. So it's really easy to put. Just there is no control about the address, so you can put what you want. Okay, we don't make some complex things to see. Okay, is it really a document, a folder, or things? Okay, so people will take care about information I will put here. So you can go to Nuxeo, get the address, and copy it directly here, and that's it. Okay, so it's easy and I think efficient enough to have the information available from the system directly without a lot of work from both sides.
And just as a note, in terms of better pipeline management to meet the needs that we have right now, particularly the ask that we have from our upper management, which directly comes from investors, is if we declare something as, for example, dev phase 1 or dev phase 2, we will not be able to progress it into the next phase unless that Nuxio link is there showing the documentation. So it's really just to try and emphasize the importance of that documentation before we claim that we are in the next phase, because we have been caught out quite badly with that. So it's really just to assist us with ensuring that we can identify and support our change in development phase.
Sorry, could you just show again how you added the Nuxio link column or renamed it?
Just if you open your project that you created for the training, there is a column called Nuxio link. Do you see it? Normally it should be displayed completely at the right.
No.
It's not that visible.
No. Would it have to be one of the templates or just the basic test one?
No, the project based on the template. It's not available in the project that we created completely from blank project, but normally in the template based project. Yeah.
2 seconds. Yes, sorry, it's there. Okay.
Okay.
It's back to the basic one, which is
Yeah, in fact, technically spoken, it's not a specific field that we created, but we use a standard field called hyperlink, which is linked to all of the tasks, and we simply renamed this field as Nuxio link in the template of projects. That's why it's visible like this. If you don't see it, we should display here the hyperlink field here, and you see that it's exactly the same. But okay, it's easier if it is directly integrated.
The yellow post-it notes there in the I column, what do they refer to?
So for that, so it's a possibility offered by MS Project to include some notes for each task.
Okay.
So in the template there are some of the some comments inside. So for example, here we see that in Egypt we have a specific milestone definition, etc. But after, when on your own project, you are really free to add some notes here. It could be interesting for big. We don't use this information in terms of reporting, etc. But it could be something that we can imagine in the future. But yes, you can blah blah, and you see that after we have a kind of post-it visible here. Okay, so it's not really managed by now, but it's a possibility that you can use. Okay. Okay, so shall we continue directly, or do you think a small break as you want? The next